We are now in the last module of the topic prepositions, wherein we are going to understand the standard rate, value, speed. That is, prepositions expressing standard rate, value or speed. After that, we are also going to have a look into the tricky prepositions that usually confuse us. So let us have a look at this. Bank charges interest at 14%. So whenever you're talking about the rate of interest, it's always going to be at. This cloth is sold by meter. So now when we're talking about the rate here also, which is in meters, we will use by. Then we go on to the grocery. Rice is sold at rupees 20 per kg. So we've used at. And then the train is running at 80 km per hour. That's the speed. So when we spoke about the speed, we spoke about the rate, we spoke about the value, we used a different preposition for each type. So what have we learned from this? We have now understood the different relations indicated by prepositions. Let us now have a look at a few tricky prepositions. So why are they tricky prepositions? Let us understand. When I say beside and besides, one without an S in the end and the second one with an S in the end, there is a huge difference in it. When I say beside, I mean near. When I say besides, I mean in addition to. Let us understand this with the help of an example. There is a tree beside the bench, as you can see it. Then, she knows English besides French, which means in addition to teaching English, she also teaches French. Let us have a look at the second one. Between and among. So now, between means you always have two things. But when I'm talking about among, it is more than two. He dances between two trees, as you can see. And then he dances among the trees. So you see, now it is more than two. Moving on ahead. The difference between to and towards. When I say to, it is the destination. But when I say towards, it's just the direction. So you can actually confuse people with that. She goes to school. That means she has to go to school. That's the location. But if I say she goes towards school and sees a dog, that does not mean she's gone to school. She's gone in the direction of the school. So here it is. The next one. In, inside. What's the difference? So I can use in and I can use inside for something which is an enclosed space. But I cannot use inside for something which is open. In case of that, I have to only use open. I have to only use in. For example, he lives in this room. So, the room is closed. He lives inside this room. That is also right. Because on one place, we are talking about an enclosed space, wherein we could use in and inside. But when I say that he lives in Mumbai. Mumbai is not a closed place. It's not an enclosed area. It is an open space. So I say in. There is a lot of pollution in the air. Now obviously when we are talking about the air, it is regarded as an open space. So we cannot use inside. Let us have a look at the next one. Opposite and in front of. So when I'm saying opposite, it means facing each other. And when I'm saying in front of, it is the same direction. For example, she's standing opposite to the dog. The other example, she's standing in front of the dog. So that's the same direction. Next, along and across. So when it is along, it basically means a parallel activity. And when it is across, it is from one side to another. So they are walking along the seashore. And the old man swam across the river. Another example. The next type, wherein we discuss about and against. Whenever I'm talking about a thing, I will say about, and when it is a person, I'll say against. For example, Tina complained against Rahul, not about Rahul. But when I talk about something, like Varsha complained about the dirt in his cabin. So the dirt in his cabin was what Varsha complained about. It was about the thing. Therefore, I've used about. Now, after we've done with all the types of prepositions indicating and denoting different expressions, we will go on ahead to a short exercise to understand prepositions. Distribute the sweets dash 40 children. So here it is more than 2 people, so we'll say among. Share the chocolates dash both of you. You have exactly 2 people, so you will say between. There is a garden dash my house, in front of my house. Dash night, we will go for a movie. So if you can remember, when we did dawn and night, we used at. And finally, the class was silent as the teacher entered the class. So entered, inside or in, both are appropriate because the class is an enclosed space. So this was all about prepositions, students. We've discussed the prepositions indicating different expressions and relations. We've also done an exercise. I hope you've understood this. Thank you.